I want to now turn to my next guest for a further analysis of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's UN address earlier today. And joining me now for that discussion is Congressman Pete Sessions of the great state of Texas. He represents the 17th District there. Congressman Sessions, always an honor to have you joining us on Washington Watch. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Our former colleague, Congressman Jody Hice, is missed, still on the Hill, but his insight I'd love hearing about. And Jody, thank you, because as you know, when you were a member of Congress, you were helpful in helping decide and make policy. People who were thinkers about what they saw. We're now off on what might be a few days a break back home. And I have to draw my own analysis, but it was after watching the Prime Minister Netanyahu and watched the number of people that walked out, the number of people who were unwilling to listen, the number of people who were unwilling to hear the latest news from a man who simply spent his time pleading for now some 48 people to be returned. Then that is when the talks for peace can begin. And if the United Nations was made for one thing, it should be about listening, hearing, and working towards making sure that peace can be achieved. I was disappointed in seeing those hundreds of people walk out.
Yeah, I was too. How do you come to agreements when people are not even interested or willing to sit down and listen? It makes you wonder, Congressman Sessions, about the role of the United States as a member of the United Nations going forward. Have you given any thoughts to that?
Well, certainly that is the consideration. I really did not think about that so much as I thought about that the state of affairs at the UN today is simply a one-sided thought process by so many countries that should want and need peace, resolution, ideas about resolving this. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has, from the very beginning, it's not a moving target, said, we need all of our hostages back. And when you get back hostages, if that's what the agreement is, then it could happen almost immediately, where there would be talk, understanding, and then a balance between all these people, and that's what we need. Yes, I'm disappointed. I think it once again shows that we're a part of some organization that is not thoughtful, is not articulate in aiming towards peace, and perhaps worst of all, they think they're smarter than everybody else, and that's not what working together is about, Jody.
That's right. Well, if I can, Congressman, let me shift gears and come closer to home to Capitol Hill. The federal government is now slated to run out of money on Wednesday. I mean, the clock is ticking, literally at the 11th hour and 59 minutes. Is there any news that you're seeing or hearing in regard to negotiations with the Democrats?
Yeah, Jody, I cannot report anything that's favorable at this time. Obviously, sometimes the clock has to get close to closing before people then want to do something. But in this case, I think the objective for the Democrats exceeds the ability that we have to counter punch with that and to make a deal. So Republicans passed in the House a bill that I thought was a good bill. I voted for it. And if it's up to the Senate, if you do not want to pass what we've done, then we need to take what you can pass. We've done our work. Unfortunately, I'm very skeptical right now. I've been optimistic until yesterday when I saw the Democrats claw in, dig in. I saw not just Chuck Schumer, but his colleagues say, nope, not going to do anything. So it's a sad set of affairs, but this is the process, and this is the process that we've gone through too many times where we get to the end and then there's this battle. So I expect that there probably will be a government shutdown now.
That's what it's looking like. And, it looks like they're just digging a deeper hole for themselves. I mean, the president's talking about massive reductions in forces if a shutdown does occur. And every bit of that's going to be placed on their shoulders. Let me go to something else that I know is extremely important to you, given your role and that of your father. But former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Give us your reactions to that.
Jody, it is very interesting. I watch most FBI directors as they work around issues or give a testimony. They are not as specific. They're rounder rather than specific answers. James Comey misled Congress on not only the things he knew, but the role that he had. He was very specific. He left no room for wiggle room. He left nothing to necessarily to where you would question something. He was very direct, and he misled Congress into not only his role, but the role of the FBI and the things that they knew. And there's enough data and information that has come out for a long time now to suggest that the FBI not only participated in this, but enabled it. And certainly to hold James Comey accountable would be a stunning set of circumstances, and one which I think he set the stage himself. He's very direct, he's very specific. And so as those facts became known, he set himself up for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you're well familiar with. Your father was the fourth director of the FBI, and so I know. In fact, I was there in those hearings myself, asking questions to Director Comey, and I mean, this is something we've seen for a long, long time. But this has to have a special place in your heart, seeing what the FBI has turned into. We've got about 30 seconds for you to respond to that.
Well, in fact, I will say that the guys at the very top, the ones on the top floor, found themselves in a circumstance where they gathered together and worked against the best interest of the FBI, the organization, fidelity, bravery, integrity. And they gave that up, and they gave that up not only when they were agents, when they were the management, when they led the FBI, but also afterwards with the vindictiveness that Mr. Comey took out after President Trump when he could. And I think it's a sad thing.
Thank you, Congressman Pete Sessions. It's always an honor. Thank you for what you do for the people of Texas, for the people of the United States, and always an honor to have you join us here on Washington Watch.
Congressman, thank you.